Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going live here tonight. This is GP. I'm excited. It's the first time that I did a live stream with YouTube. And I've been sitting here working on how to do that basically all day. And I do want to kick it about this story that's been trending around, this Big U story. There's been a lot of reports out there that he will be facing 600 years, and that's a long time. That's really a long time. But I'm excited to be here. I will be doing live streams probably 2 times a week. I will be scheduling these things, and I will be posting the schedulings. And people will be able to see it on the channel. They click onto the channel, they'll see what times I'm going live. And I'm going to try to have some great topics out there. You know, I try to keep up on some of the trending topics out there. I'm pretty much on the internet all the time. I got other things going on in my life, so I can't spend all day on the internet. But when I do get on here, I do try to have the best stories to tell. And I do like to do historical type stories. So you all can go back to the channel and check some of that stuff out. It's all good. But tonight, I do want to focus on this guy, Big U. And you got to be patient with me right now because I'm trying to change some of the titles in this live stream right here. Let me get my title here together. And he's also looking for Trump to intervene in this case right here. That's quite interesting. I saw a vlog on that today, and from I guess you can say a source that has a great reputation. I think it's the Law and Crime Network where I heard that from. There's a lady on there that covers a lot of stories, and she has some interesting things she be saying on there. And she was reporting that this guy will be looking for assistance from the federal government. That's kind of interesting. But I said from the beginning that this guy will cause a lot of chaos in this case. There's no question about that. I said that from the very beginning. This guy will be causing a lot of chaos in this case. Trying to change my thumbnails as I broadcast live here. That's the wrong one. You gotta be patient. I gotta set this thing up. And I'm coming straight from the hip. And this reminds me of doing radio back in the day. I started this business like doing radio. And this reminds me of. And I hope that I can set this up where I can actually get people on here live. So let me set this up, or I need to set another playlist for this for the live. So I'm just going to put it in the Gangster's Paradise TV 1. And this what this is, GP TV 1. And when I hit 10,000 subscribers, I will be doing a Patreon so we can come off the public and go private, and we can really get into the topics. We can really say what we want to say. But while we public, we got to stick to the guidelines of YouTube. And I pretty much do that. I stick to the guidelines because I don't want my channel getting jacked off after working so hard getting this far. And I still got a long way to go. We're still building over here at GP TV 1. And I'm excited to do this live stream. So I just saved all the information in there about this particular live. Hold on, let me go back, cancel that. I'm supposed to save this. What's happening here? Just bear with me. I'm trying to save this information. Okay, it's saved. Now let me come out of here. So all the information that should be in there. Let me delete this right quick. Delete that. I've been testing this all day. A couple of people got on there and saw I was live on there, but I was just doing some testing. Turn this microphone down a little bit, and we're going to get into this Big U. Go here. So Big U, it's been reported that he's facing 600 years. But I looked around and, when I do my research, I like to get it from credible sources. And I haven't seen any official reports saying that this guy is facing 600 years. But regardless to that, that's still a long time. Given his age, that's a long time. I mean, 20 years is like a death sentence for this guy. And I speak that in terms of freedom. You never know. He may live to be 100 years old. But that's how deep they are trying to say this guy is facing. 600 years. Can you believe that? 43 count federal indictment. 10 years is a long time in his case. And I made a lot of reports. Like these, you can be an older cat. These older cats, they be with the mess too. People try to always say it's the young folks, but it be these old heads too. It be these old heads too. So they're gonna pile up. This is the federal government right here. They're gonna try to pile as much stuff as they can. And believe me, they still looking. They want to try to supersede him. Well, it look like he's superseded right now, but they're gonna supersede him. They still looking for dirt. They're looking in any corner they can find some information to keep this guy locked up in there forever and for life. And when he made his little videos before he turned himself in, he just all about development option. But when you look at all the interviews and all the public stuff he do, you see very little about development options. I see plenty of videos talking about fights he done had of gang type of activity or former gang activity. But again, people may not just be posting that, and I'm just not necessarily looking for it. But people post many videos with Big U, but I rarely see stuff about this development option. So the image is totally off. You got a ton of stuff with gang activity, or at least talking about it, but very little about this information. Maybe the people in Los Angeles, they may be up on this. They may know about this. No, I'm just being frank here. They just may know about this. But the people that's outside of Los Angeles, they get a little to no information about development options. That's just my observation, because I get a lot of stuff coming across my timeline regarding Big U. I don't go into all the stories, and I don't want to fill my page up with all Big U stories. I try to cover as much stuff as I can. I try to cover as much stuff as I can when it comes to Big U, but I don't just stay all into his story. It's one person I know for sure that seems to me that knows how Big U operate, and that's Whack 100. He know how to describe Big U to the fullest. That's a fact. If you go back and look at how his interaction was with Big U, to me, that reminds me of somebody that's slick. How Whack 100 describes Big U, I would have to say Big U is a slick guy. He just reminds me of people I know that ran in the streets. And one of the things about the streets you got to understand that is an anti-social industry. So you got this street industry where people got all kind of mental health issues, bipolar, and some more stuff. But it seems normal because it's street activity. You got your gangsters out there in the streets, then you got your gentleman gangsters, so to speak. But Whack 100 describes this guy to the T. That's what I think. You got to go back and look at some of Whack 100 videos. And one thing he described was he was on a Zoom meeting with Big U, and Big U was just quiet. When I see something like that, that tells me something about that person. That tells me that person is not highly educated, because people they'll try to adapt to you. That's the whole thing. People will try to adapt to you. And Big U seems to be one of those type of people that will try to adapt to you. And you just can't trust people like that. That's just my opinion. But then he say Brick Baby 600 and Loose Cannon is the reason he got jammed up. How about you jammed yourself up with the tons of videos that you made about yourself and this gang activity? Constant fighting, beefing, arguing back and forth, and all this stuff with Nipsey Hussle. Again, folks trying to hang around in the rap world. This guy 58 years old, but he want to hang around with 20-year-old rappers. It don't add up. It just don't make no sense to me. It just don't make no sense. Some people just not satisfied with their G-ness. And this guy seems to be one of those type people. He's just not satisfied with his G-ness. But now he's looking for sympathy. He's looking for sympathy. I've seen, like when I saw that video when he was on his way to turn himself in, they said he was destroying evidence before he did all that, which is quite logical. But he seemed to be looking for sympathy then. So he's reaching out to his celebrity buddies. I don't know what they can do for him in this case. Probably give him some money to get a lawyer or something like that. That's pretty much it. But I don't know what he expected to get out of these rappers. I mean, what can they do? You got on the videos. You made all these videos. You talk about kicking ass. So let me get my charger over here. This is GPTV1. I will be going live. This is the first live, my first ever live. I'm excited about it. Been working on it a little bit, and I'm gonna keep working on it and try to get it better and better and better. But I just wanted to go ahead and jump in here today. Trying to reach. It reminds me of doing radio back in the day. And like I said, I want to get to the point where people can actually chime in and come on live with me and chime in on some of these topics. But I want to get on at least twice a week live. My little sound card went out, so I'm actually talking directly to the computer. I don't know why I didn't charge this up. Plug that in right quick. Get that charging. Okay, back to Big U. Let's go here. Well, he looking for help from Trump. He wants Trump to help him out in this case. I believe it. Big U wants to create chaos around this case. It's going to be hard to do that on a federal level, but yes, he wants help from Trump. At least that's what's been reported. I looked around on the internet and tried to do some research. I didn't see no official report that says this, but this news source or this source of information has a good reputation. So I don't think they would put false stuff out there. But I don't see that some credible information out there that he's acting for Trump. But I don't put it past him, though. Knowing this guy, Big U, well, I don't know him personally, but how he moves, yeah, he's going to want Trump to intervene on this case. Will Trump intervene on this case? He just might. They may be homeboys. You never know with this guy, Trump. He may just get him out on that. But Trump and the administration, they are the type of people that can actually help him with this case. But he's looking for all this sympathy right now. And when people do all this stuff right here, you didn't have sympathy for your victims. That's the whole thing here. Now he's reaching out to his celebrity buddies for help. He's looking for the Trump administration for help. And you said in your own video, you knew this was coming. How did you know this was coming? You knew this was coming? Like, who sits around and said that? Like, one thing I've learned as a grown person, if I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm not running from the law. I grew up, like most people in my neighborhood, we were run from the police. We just see them, we out of here. We gone. You ain't got to ask us twice. If the police pull up, we are gone. But as a grown man and maturing, I felt like, well, I ain't doing nothing wrong. I'll go ahead and face him. But for Big U to say he knew this was coming, you knew you was doing something wrong. How did you know this was coming? You knew you was doing something wrong. I had no problem talking to the police. I'm not doing anything wrong. Let's talk. That's just how it is. And when he did make his videos where he's going to turn himself in, he didn't mention anything about this rapper being killed. He jumped right to talking about development options. He skipped clean over that part. When the law enforcement came out with their news reports, the first thing they mentioned was that murder of that rapper. And it's reported that he destroyed evidence on that. So that's what he's looking for Trump's intervention in, on that murder charge. The murder charge is going in this case right here. And they say they had a fight in jail. What's the purpose of that? You know, everybody know that you're going to try to bully your way through this stuff. I mean, what's the purpose of that? You're just making yourself look even worse. Not to mention the fact how old you are. You know, but they say they had a fight while they was in that jail. You got to sit down. You're going to have to sit down, and you know it. Big you know he's about to sit down. You're not going nowhere. They're not about to let you out of there. You've been rocking this rolling 60 stuff since you was a kid. Since you was a kid. You're talking about 50 years or 40-something years of you doing this rolling 60 thing. And it's not a knock on a rolling 60 because it's not illegal to be in a gang. But I just want to get on here today and drop this live episode, see how this stuff works, see how it comes out. And it's going to get better as I go along. And I'm going to find some of the best topics to bring on here and, just have an open discussion. I appreciate y'all checking me out. This is GPTV1. I still got to work on my sound, my background sounds, and all that type of stuff. But it's all coming. I'm working hard just for you. Peace out. Y'all take care and stay safe out there, fam.